Grand Theft Auto was set in stone for the 7th generation, with the 4th in the series, which is technically the 6th. The jump to HD gave the game designers the opportunity to smarten up and create a city that seemed so realistic at the time. But Rockstar Games weren't done with Liberty City just yet. You might notice a few characters who appear in a few cutscenes with Nico in key moments throughout the story. Well, they too would make a name for themselves in the worst city in America. When Peter Moore announced GTA 4 during a Microsoft panel at E3 2006, he also announced episodic content, with The Lost and Damned releasing on February 2009, as an exclusive for the Xbox 360 for at least a year. You can also get it on the PlayStation 3 and PC, and after finding both episodes in one collection, and already losing count on the number of hours clocked on GTA 4, I had to pick it up. A motorcycle gang called The Lost are on their way to the probation clinic to pick up their president, Billy Gray, who is released after serving time for narcotics possession.
About time. Home sweet home.
However, this creates friction between him and acting president Johnny Klevitz, who kept the gang alive after fixing the problems caused by Billy before he was inside. He reopens old habits and starts a war with the Angels of Death, creating police noise.
And looking for a fight is the wrong thing to do right now, given the fact that we can't even stop fighting amongst ourselves.
Yeah, you're right. We should probably all get in a circle, hold hands, pray, sing kumbaya.
Kumbaya. Yeah, whatever.
Basically, things were running smoothly when Johnny was in charge, and Billy spirals it out of control.
Well, that's something your leader will have to worry about, not you, soldier!
On top of that, Johnny also has to deal with Thomas Stubbs, a congressman who entraps him to boost his political career, and ex-girlfriend Ashley, whose addiction keeps getting her into trouble.
You sure know how to get yourself into trouble, don't you, baby?
You sure know how to get me out, Johnny.
The Lost and Damned is set right in the middle of Nico's story, but with a different character in a motorbike gang on the rampage in Liberty City. If you played GTA 4, you might notice Johnny and Nico occasionally working together in criminal business.
And in this troubling economic climate, you gotta make compromises.
Normally in movies, the story would jump between different characters, but in video games you play as a protagonist and typically stick with that protagonist throughout the whole journey. By creating multiple protagonists through DLC, with new missions set in the same city and timeline, it's the prototype of what GTA 5 would become. According to Dan Houser, he was also inspired by his previous work with the handheld spin-offs, and how they brought back classic cities and characters while bringing in new ones and telling a different story. The Lost and Damned isn't as serious because of the themes, it's almost as if Johnny's having more fun in Liberty City. But in GTA 4, the main part of the story was Nico getting revenge, and doing jobs based on the diamonds, for example, were his ticket to reaching it. Basically, these plot elements were secondary, but in the expansions, they're also secondary, but these gangsters have their own agenda, and when paths cross, it's seamless. To structure the plot to such an extent takes a lot of preparation in the writing department, yet another reason why the writing in GTA 4 is top notch.
We are brothers for life, lost forever. In these perilous times, it's more important than ever that you follow your leader, and that is me, remember. Yeah.
And the switch in the protagonist also carries into the presentation. Okay, the only real change in the graphics department are the character models. Jim, for example, looks nothing like he does in GTA 4, and Johnny wears a different outfit. I don't know why the developers didn't make these changes in GTA 4 with updates. Other minor differences include the menus and HUDs, which fit more with the biker theme. It might be because of my music taste, but I think it looks awesome. The Lost and Damned is set on GTA 4 Liberty City, the entire map without restrictions, so all the praises and criticisms about it remain the same. The map is in the menu with a sat-nav system despite being on a bike most of the time, and there are hardly any empty spots despite 90% of it being just buildings. But one thing I didn't mention in my GTA 4 review was there are plenty of areas that were highly detailed, including the prison, airport, and the Actor Industrial Park, but were never fully utilized. In Lost and Damned, the blanks are filled, some of them anyway. The second expansion fills up the other gaps, like the driving range for example. The game starts on the other side of Liberty City, Alderney. I mean, the Lost aren't exactly on the platypus with Nico, and you hang out there more often. but this means the only 2 safe houses in the whole game are there as well, though vehicles can be parked outside Nico's ones. One thing I also noticed is that you only have 12 save slots in GTA 4, which is obviously a lot, but as you can see, this also counts towards the expansions as well. Not as many as you might think after all. It's still a decent number. I only made that many saves just in case there was something in GTA 4 I wanted to go back to, because you can't replay missions, which I'll talk about in the Ballad of Gay Tony DLC. Just be aware of it is all I'm saying. The biggest safe house is the Lost Headquarters, which has almost every activity outside missions possible, and your bike will always be parked there. However, don't expect to find a wardrobe, because customization options are literally non-existent, further proving my point that GTA 4 is the worst in the series when it comes to customization.
Not quite sure I meet the dress code.
Imagine how cool it would be if you could customize your bike in the same manner as GTA 5 for example, or outlandish outfits, helmets, or customizable weapons. Okay, it doesn't have to be that outlandish, because need I remind you all, the designers were trying to create the most realistic open world map back then, but anything's better than nothing. A missed opportunity right there. But being a DLC, they made up for it by increasing the number of things to do which weren't in GTA 4, including arm wrestling, which is an analog stick breaking red flag. I don't recommend this activity on the console version. High-Low, a unique card game that's actually not bad, though Elias Dice is better.
You can't be serious.
And bowling has been replaced, much to Roman's displeasure, with air hockey.
Wow, now see, I like how you did that. It was very good, very clever. Almost like a joke, you know, only it wasn't funny.
The controls are touchy, like it's easy to accidentally score an own goal. You can call your brothers to join you in these activities, much like friends in GTA 4. However, mission markers are unnecessarily far away. Look here, I want to play some air hockey with Clay. Call him, accepts, cool, but I'm near the location where air hockey is, yet I still have to go to the end of the map just to meet up. Why not meet at the destination?
Yes, well, you've got a bit of a problem there, sport.
You often have the same issue in GTA 4, but at least you can use a taxi to immediately skip the journey. But with Johnny, you can't. Okay, you can use vehicles other than bikes, including taxis. However, during missions, you must use a bike, which to be fair, it wouldn't be a good look as part of the biker theme in this game, taking a taxi next to your brothers. I can understand only using bikes during missions, but it can feel very tedious during activities because of the distance you have to travel for such a small task. Nico's safe houses now sound handier than you think.
Well, tempted as I am by your first option, I'm gonna have to go with the second.
Control-wise, it plays exactly like GTA 4, like Nico Bellic, so I won't go into much detail and only speak on what's added. Johnny can jump up ledges, take cover, lock onto enemies, and flay all around like a crash test dummy. Seriously, these ragdoll physics are fantastic. In fact, the only difference I notice is the way Johnny runs. Even the vehicles control the same, including the motorbikes, except this time you'll be using them the most. I still maintain my stance on the handling. Not a big fan, but I can definitely understand why people are, because it adds to the realism of the city. I mean, I'm not complaining that much, because as you can see from my driving, I've played enough GTA 4 to comprehend. There'll be a lot of missions where you'll be riding with the Lost, and they'll always stick behind you. Good, because normally in GTA 4 if you're too far away from a character, you have to either wait or go back to him or her before you can progress. However, if you make a mistake, there's a good chance that a brother can run into you like that. And when Billy is in charge, you have to stay behind him, and he almost never goes as fast as possible. Fortunately, landing on the Lost logo, which appears every few seconds, can repair your bike and increase health and armor. Handy, because being on a bike all the time increases the chance of falling off and being more open to gunfire, which is why most of the time when I'm in a situation where I'm being chased at by enemies, I just take a car instead. Whenever you complete missions, jobs and activities, gang members that join you increase their numbers. Like GTA 4 you can call for backup, more specifically Clay and Terry, and you can always look at their stats, kind of like San Andreas. Though being a GTA game, it's more likely you'll be carrying most of the load, but they're extremely handy nonetheless.
We don't need numbers, man, we need brothers.
The tasks are very similar to GTA 4, except the quantity has been fractioned and renamed. Instead of 200 pigeons, it's 50 seagulls. Vigilante missions have been replaced with gang wars, and there are only 2 random encounters instead of 14. However, there are more races which are obviously bike exclusive, and you can also melee attack like Road Rash.
I'll try not to smack you in the face with it.
Again, like GTA 4, you have a mobile phone that does more than answer calls. However, a lot of what typical friends from GTA 4 have as unlockables, gun vans, backup, or transport, are instantly available in the Lost and Damned, and they make that fact clear right after the first mission. Clay provides the vehicles, no, the Sanchez is not available, despite Lost and Damned being a more bike-orientated expansion, and Terry provides all the weapons, free of charge on the final mission. That's how crazy it gets towards the end. Because it doesn't take as long to beat, you earn less than Nico despite the Lost getting involved in similar criminal escapades. But at least you don't earn so little that you can't even afford ammo, but you'll have to be smarter with your money compared to GTA 4.
Don't get too clever.
Find as much ammo as you can, because there'll be a couple of missions where you'll run out completely. In this situation I had to resort to explosives, which went well. But no matter how much you have, at the end of the day, games with the title Grand Theft Auto mean that you're on an open world without rules. Especially according to Johnny.
So what do you think, Johnny? Think that guy makes my skin crawl.
It's hard to explain what hasn't been said after reviewing Grand Theft Auto 4, because you're on the exact same map, only you don't get access to Nico's safe houses. That's about it. You can still free roam, rampage, do similar tasks and activities, and even the story sets itself in the middle of Nico's. But the latter is what makes all the difference.
Peace and prosperity be damned.
Peace and prosperity be damned, my brother.
It doesn't take itself as seriously. There's a higher volume of action-packed missions, new weapons, vehicles, and because you get around 5 hours of gameplay time just from the storyline missions alone, this is one of the best examples of how to create a DLC properly, and a must play if you enjoyed Grand Theft Auto 4.